Try to get the quick handoff. Right down the middle it is Jordan Thomas plowing his way through. Can we find Hubbard downfield? It's lofted, dropping in, and it's over Adebo's head. Quick stop instead. As we hand this one off for Hubbard, he will finish off what he started. Now he has a fullback in front of him. With some nice blocking, he can easily get to the end zone. Corner in jet, who is extremely, as we get a sack by Wanham. Will be a throw. Going to Olave on what was kind of a pick play, but a legal pick play. Well, we got a wide open Hayden Hurst looking pretty easy as he is wide open. Jennings, the closest player, is his teammate. See if we could get something over the top or right across the middle into dangerous territory, and it will be costly. Interception, Saints take over. Should have more blitzers than blockers, but they find, and I don't agree that's a touchdown, but they're going to give Olave his second on the day. 4th and 4. We can limit all points here as that's tipped up and knocked away. And that solidifies us still as the 3rd team here in the NFC South. And coming off that sweep of the Saints after a 41-10 win and a 28-20 win, we have our rematch. Our revenge game, hopefully. Fingers crossed against the Falcons after just a couple games ago, they dropped 44 points on us, and it was by no means a very good game for us, at least second half wise. We gave up a little over 350 yards. Meanwhile, we barely got over 250 ourselves. The first half was not bad. However, the second half did get really bad as Young battled through injury once again. He was around 175 passing yards. He had 2 interceptions. Completion percentage was sub 60. And he was sacked a few times, though that wasn't where he really got injured. We saw Dugan come in, and he was all right. Nothing splashy, but kept the offense moving a little bit. It was the second half that became a big problem as Desmond Ridder and the Falcons offense started to go off. He threw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. We did get 2 picks on him with Jaquan Cash. He was the only good player out there, it really felt like in that one. They had 70% completion. We did get a couple sacks. And Bijan Robinson wasn't all too effective early on, but late on in that game, they started to go his way a lot more. And he did become a problem for us. The only real receiving issue for us, I would say, was Drake London. I'm not going to count Van Jefferson because all but 30 of his yards came on essentially one play. That play did change the momentum of the game. So we need better, obviously, in this one, though we did do really well in slowing down Kyle Pitts. He was under a first down and catch. I think Sidney Brown did a fantastic job in his man coverage there, and we're going to look to try to continue with that one today. As for the defense, again, it started off a little slow for the Falcons, but after their first touchdown, they really started to switch things on, and I'm going to give their defense props. They took Hubbard out of the game in the second half. We can't let that happen. As for the main guys who really affected this game, Grady Jarrett took away a lot of runs down the middle. Onyemata did fantastic in getting into the backfield, often took away runs, as well as got in the face of Hubbard quite a few times, though only getting 1 sack. And the guys that picked us off, well, that was Bates and Okudah. Their top 2 guys in that one. Now, they did not have their top corner in that last one, but they are fully healthy. Meanwhile, we are not. Last episode, we did have the practice injuries for Grover Stewart and Cam Akers. Those are still lingering. However, we had an additional practice injury in Jonathan Mingo with a back strain. So we're missing 2 starters and 2 rotational guys with Greg Hodgins still not back from his abdominal tear. He will be back and will get the start for the last. I want to say that we'll leave 4 games left. Hopefully he does well in those. But Stockton has done well at linebacker. We just need Deion Jones to step it up a little bit. Now, unlike the last time we played the Falcons, in which was going to be a battle for second place here in the NFC South, it's not that way this time. The Falcons are on top of the division 6-5. They have a game in hand, essentially, with the Buccaneers. But the Buccaneers at 6-6 are currently a playoff team. If all things said and done this week, the Buccaneers would be the 7th seed. So that just goes to show that our division is not out of it by any means, and we're not out of it. We just need to start stringing together some wins, and a big one against the Falcons would help us out as they are currently the 3 seed. We did a lot of things well in the first half of that first Falcons game. We did a lot of things well in the first half of the Saints game. That's where we scored all of our points last episode. We need to play a complete game this week from start to finish. No letting off the gas pedal, go, 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 and try to upset top of our division rival, the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get this one started with the home fans behind us, and we need to make sure we keep them well involved in this game. Too many times I feel like this year they've been out of it. It's defense up first, and we need to see some big plays. And as mentioned prior to getting into this one, we know this defense can make the big plays. Again, that first half of the previous game was really good for us as there's a good tackle from Deion Jones. We need those sure tackles today as Bijan Robinson coming off a game over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that's just keeping track of his running plays, not even any receptions he had in that one. But we need the big plays from the defense. We need these young guys, the tandem of rookies down the middle to make the play, and we need Sidney Brown to knock that one away. Or perhaps more aptly so, break that one up. As it's 1st and 10, they're in pistol, a weak eye. As they go with the read option, Stockton is there. Did great to shed the block and gets the tackle for loss of 3. He has very much taken over as the primary inside linebacker for us. As a rookie, doing a fantastic job, though he gets beat there, and Sidney Brown was running the wrong way. Duvernay headed to the end zone, and once again, we give up a big pass play. As the Falcons take the lead, it's Devin Duvernay with the damage. And at least one thing we can say about that, it makes things pretty simple for our offense. Score here. As we open up our possession, we're back at the 25. Gonna start with Hubbard. Need to pick up some blocks with a big decleater there from Iquanu. He is by far my favorite lineman here on the team because he's gotten some of those big hits nearly every single game. Just need to continue to see those as it's wide open to the outside and it's thrown even further outside. Chuba Hubbard, and just as they had, we will have a gigantic passing play. Chuba Hubbard takes it all the way. It's a fantastic, quick response from the offense, and that's exactly what we needed as the Falcons head out for their second time. We need to make sure we do well, and what a play from the rookie in sweat. Shed the block near instantly with the tackle for a loss. Yeah, flex on him. 2nd and 13. As they go back to Robinson, opens up a little bit more this time. We're just taking some of the weirdest routes to the guy with the ball as they pick up another 1st down. That's at least 2 times where we've caught Sidney Brown doing some weird backpedaling when he really should be going straight for the guy with the ball. Now, it did take him quite a while to get Robinson going in that last game, and they already are opening up quite a lot to him. And considering who we have down the middle, it's a good game plan. We don't have a very strong defensive line. It's one of our weakest groups. We need them to step up. We need a little bit more from the linebackers as it's going to be another 1st down rush here for Robinson. So already thinking we might have to adjust a little bit of our game plan here. And whenever they come out in non-nickel downs, we might need to come out in the 44 defense. Just try to stack up that box a little bit more. And as we speak about it, they'll come out in a package that would allow us to do that the next time out here. A bunch to the right-hand side. They go with the toss to the outside. Shake route, but not going to get by one on them. They're definitely going to need those in this one. And we keep getting some bad lineups here for our linebackers. It's Jones man up on Drake London. And yeah, that's exactly where they go. It's an easy catch, especially since Pitts bumps us off. That's going to be a little worrisome here for us. We got to find a way to get the proper matchups because that's not going to be a good one at all. As they go right back to Robinson behind the blitz. Sidney Brown not getting the tackle, but Cash does. It's a 1st down to the 5. I'd say early indications already pointing at a very offensive game here, and it's going to be whatever defense can make the big plays. As they hand this one off, it's Algier who's down to the 2. He didn't get much, if any, opportunities in the last game, and he gets one there, nearly getting him to the end zone. As the phone goes off, it's a easy run in for Robinson, and it goes off again. I need to silence that thing. And with it silenced, offense heading out with the same objective. Score points, keep us level here, or try to get back level with the Falcons. As we go across the middle, it gets picked even though the ball was behind him. Was definitely some pass interference across the middle. Jordan Thomas got bumped, and unfortunately it's going to be a pick credited to our quarterback in Young, but it's really not his fault. We'll watch the replay here. The bump happens, and then, yeah, interesting Madden animation there. Ellis one-hands it behind him, not even looking. And that's just about the worst possible thing that could have happened there. As we were already down 7, they take over inside the red zone. Some early drama already. We could use a big play from the defense. Instead, you know what? I didn't trust it. But Horn, he makes the play. Was it a little bit too risky for me? Sure, but you know what? He got the job done. Swatted it away. We got a 2nd and 10. As they're going to flood one side of the field, they're going right back to it. And a little bit too far. That time it was Cash in coverage, and once again he did get beat, but he was able to at least bump him out before anything could happen. As they go with the play action, though, that time it opens up for him, and we have a lot more catching up to do as Devin Duvernay already has 2 touchdowns on the day. But if we keep up with the scores from here, we have halftime to try to make up for the 2-score deficit. As we go right back to Hubbard, who somehow is having to try to get around a corner who went through about 3 different blocks and ends up making the big play. On top of that, Hubbard a little bit slow to get up, not injured, but we're going to send him to the sideline, sending out Julius Chestnut to get demolished in the backfield as it's Onyemata once again. From there, though, we do hit the end of the first quarter. Starting the second, it's a 3rd and 7. We've got to find a way to convert. They're spreading wide, matching what we are coming out in. Just got to find a way to the first down. As we don't find it there, Ellis has been a problem for us at linebacker. But part of me feels like we might need to go for this one. Let's at least see how they line up. Pretty similar to what it was, just how they lined up. Hard count. Looks like Hubbard moves. We're going to have to punt. Now this is where we need our defense to make the big plays. And once again, it's a non-favorable matchup. They do have Drake London over Jones. However, we're going to run a little bit of some zone coverage this time. See if that might help out a little bit more, because man hasn't been great to start off with. And considering how this game started, we got to be quick with our adjustments as it's already 21-7. Need to make impactful choices as quickly as possible as they spread wide. Going to the outside, Wanham with a slowdown and luckily steps out. But that does end up bringing up a 3rd and 1, in which we're going to be aggressive here. We expect they hand it off to Robinson. Am I bad as... yeah, and it's going to, at least. Not as bad as it could have been. They do go with the pass. Luckily, it doesn't bite us, though. But we have to find a way to get in Ritter's face quickly. That's something we're not getting much of, and he's able to just pitch and catch out there as they again block up everyone. Good swat there, Gardner Johnson. We've got good man coverage from the safeties, so it shouldn't be a big problem with Pitts today. However, we need big play from everywhere else, says they're not going to call that a late hit on the quarterback. And they aren't. Okay, thank you. Considering some of the calls we've gotten on Stockton of pass interference, just well-timed knockouts, I wasn't quite sure what they were going to do, as Stockton does not get the tackle. It's a great block, and Ritter picks up the first. And that's exactly why we need better pass. We need a good game from the defensive line. We got to get in Ritter's face. Can't allow free scrambling either. As we send the house, it does get there, but the pass also gets there for a gain of 5. Just have to find the formations, the matchups that are best going to help us out. As they're making a check here from the line, it's a tight pistol set, which they go with a counter to the left-hand side. It's a good stop from Stockton. Will bring up another 3rd down. Though, having said third down, hasn't quite been in favor of us in this one. As we do bring everyone, it's a switch route to the outside that we get the better timing on. However, Falcons not pleased. They're going to go for this one, 4th and 4 at the 39. They don't trust Koo, I guess, but it's going to be a wide open catch. First down. And once again, it's Devin Duvernay. Already has 14 of their 21 points. We're giving up plays to guys that we weren't giving up plays to in the last one. Want them with a good stop down the middle. And we just might have to play a bit more aggressive in this one. Send a lot more blitzes and hopefully not bite for them on the back end. As we did bite on that one, Robinson. Got to get the sack there, bud. Couldn't really ask for any better play call to have there. We had the edge, should have been a sack. Instead, it's another third down, which they go to the outside, and the pass is just off for Kitchens. However, this time, they will send out Koo, trying to put them up by 3 scores. It is up and right down the middle, make it 24-7. We've got to get some points here before half. If things were to go perfectly for us, which they rarely do, touchdown right before half, taking up the entire time, and then get a touchdown right after half. That would be perfect, as it's a nice little route there from Ross, getting to the outside and up out of bounds by midfield. I also got to feel like another big part to the success of the Falcons in this one has just been possession. They've dominated in that as we try to go with a draw here, but the linemen don't get downfield. So from there, we'll head inside the 2-minute warning. We have all of our timeouts, 2nd and 9 at the 48. We spread wide, got 3 to the right-hand side, 1 lone to the left. They're all playing back in coverage. Just got to find somewhere to go here. Well, Hubbard stops his route, and it's going to go straight to Ellis. This guy has been insane. Lucky. He's gotten beyond lucky today. Who really hasn't gotten lucky by far has been Young. That's 2 interceptions that are not his fault. Both the guys cut their route or got bumped as we slipped there, but it's a bad throw from Ritter. And we could really do with someone in the secondary forcing a turnover here, considering they want to go so much with the passing here late on. We go across the middle. Once again, Devin Duvernay. He's had half the receptions that Ritter has completed in this one. They've gone his way a lot, and they didn't go his way much at all in the previous matchup. This time sitting wide open is Drake London, his first catch. Or actually, check that, it's his 2nd catch. Either way, he hasn't been as impactful as he was in the previous one, though. They're just spreading the ball around just in general. As they get it to the outside, it's Pitts getting about a gain of 5. Now, I got to give some credit to the Falcons in this one. They've changed up how they're running their offense near entirely as wide as London. That wide open. Maybe just play call there. But they've been just getting extremely lucky in this one, and we've just been extremely unlucky. A lot of self-issues being the cause of our turmoil, and that's very consistent with us this year. But at least one positive as we're at the 3 for 1st and goal. There's not much space, so they can't have any wacky situations happening. As they swing it to the outside, it'll be a loss of about 1 on that one. One of our better plays, if not the best play this drive. Now the bunch to the left-hand side. Duvernay lone to the right. As they swing it out, it was wide open for Robinson, but it's another missed throw from Ritter. Honestly, with how many big plays they've had, it could be a whole lot worse if it wasn't for the missed throws from Ritter. As they swing it out wide, it is Devin Duvernay with 3 first-half touchdowns. It's just been absolutely awful for this defense as they've given up almost just the amount of points as we gave up in the entirety of the previous game, just in this one game, as it's gonna be picked. Terrell Jr. coming back in this one, and it's probably gonna be some more points before the end as we struggle to even bring down a corner. Well, you could expect some sweeping changes to the lineup heading out of halftime. We'll let these guys go ahead and finish the first half as it is Pitts with the first down. Last timeout called there. 12 seconds left. Can we just keep him out of the end zone for 12 more seconds? We got man up everywhere. Ritter looking to scramble. He waits and then throws away. They got 4 seconds left. One more play. And they will take the easy route for points, sending out Koo to make it 34-7. The snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it will be 34-7 at half. Absolutely awful. And there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just truly horrendous play, as the Falcons have just been beating up on us for, at this point, a full game. Again, we played good the first half of the last one, but didn't do anything the second half, didn't do anything the first half. But let's take a break from this game. Anyone else getting beaten up around the league here? What about the Saints? They haven't had a good season. They are currently down to the Lions, 10-3. Lions looking to get to 500. Saints just looking for their 4th win. As for the next team, or next set of teams, it's the 49ers and the Jets. And it's all 49ers in that one. So at least we're not the only team getting destroyed. But do we want to be like the Jets? Not really. 49ers up 21-0. They're 8-3. Jets 5-6. As for the last update, Minnesota Vikings taking on the Rams, and it's a close one there. 14-10 between two teams with 7 losses. See who ends up going to be 8 after this one. Matthew Stafford, 2 touchdowns in there though. And as we get back to our game, we at least start off with the ball, but it will be Max Duggan leading the new group out there. We're going to see a large rotation pretty much everywhere outside of the offensive line, as it's Julius Chestnut with a run, picking up 11 and then promptly getting injured, so we're down to 1 running back. So not particularly how we wanted to start that one. It's going to be Hubbard from here on out, and maybe Chenault. I don't know if we could even put him at running back in game, but we'll see what our options are, as we have a wide open option right down the middle. It is Justin Ross. Again, with the injury that we had to Mingo, he's having to step up a little bit, getting some time on the outside here, as Chenault is still out there because he just doesn't see all too many looks, at least that often. Check this one down. Are you kidding me? 3 interceptions to Ellis. This guy is insane, and on top of that, Jordan Thomas is injured. I don't think you could be any more unlucky than we have been in this game. We've also rotated quite a bit on the defense. See how much that helps, as Crowley is out there. Let's see what he could do. He did get 1 start earlier on in the season. I want to say it was due to injuries. Ika's also out here. Dwumafor is going to get a little bit of a chance. We couldn't rotate any of the inside backers because we just don't have any others, as we do get a decent tackle there, bringing up 3rd and 7. Now, if I was being honest, I was hoping we were going to switch out these guys and the offense was going to just march down the field, make the big play. Obviously, turnovers never help, as Johnson is not going to get the sack, but he forces the throwaway. It's good enough, as it should be a punt. It does, however, end up being a really good punt as we start back at the 5, but props to the backup defense. They actually get the Falcons off the field, something these starters could not do, as this time it's not an injury for us, but the Falcons' edge rusher. Maybe a sign of just the overall shift of luck, perhaps? Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but hoping as we try to step up with Dugan and we at least pick up a yard. Now, while we're trying to talk about positives, one positive is Jordan Thomas was not seriously injured. It was an elbow bruise, if I'm not mistaken. As we look for someone here, Dugan once again just gonna have to scramble. He picks up the first, and now it's Grady Jarrett a little bit shaken up on the play. So that's now 2 defensive linemen for the Falcons that have had to at least head to the sideline. We get the halfback screen out, pick up some blocks downfield. As Chuba Hubbard picking up a first down, some things to celebrate as he bumps into Steve Smith Sr. Granted, though, if we're going to make anything happen in this game, we need some big touchdowns. Look for Thomas maybe over the top of the linebackers. Not throwing anywhere near Ellis is kind of the goal. As we just flip this one over to Chenault, he's going to pick up the first down, and why not? Team moving here. Let's just get back to it quickly. Going to have to flip the field, send 3 to the right-hand side. They do have 2 deep safeties. That looks like Jesse Bates shaded a little bit more to the outside, but gets to the inside. Look to just scramble again and dive down, picking up 7. Receivers might not like having to run all the way downfield and run back and then get right back into it, but we'll take whatever we have to do. As Dugan scrambling again, we'll pick up the first down before getting bumped out by Harrison, but we're down to the opposite 40. So while it may not be how the offense is meant to run, it's at least working here, and we'll take anything that does work. 2 spread either side. They send the corner blitz. Stepping up, Dugan trying to get to the outside, but not going to outrun the linebacker, but he holds on to the ball. And that'll leave us with a 2nd and 4 following the run, which we go to set up a RPO. Thomas to the right-hand side or just hand it off. Get a decent block there on Ellis. I've got to check his ratings after this game. Knowing Madden, though, he's probably like a 77 overall, normal dev, and just absolutely demolishing us. Just got to see what works as Chanel not quite getting off there, and Okuda in good coverage. Or actually, check that, not Okuda. That was Mike Hughes in good coverage. Didn't do that for the Vikings, though. As they go with a run here, pick up good blocks. Need another one from Jordan Thomas, and we will get it down inside the 15. And you know what? We're going to go with an interesting call here, as we're actually going to send in motion the tight end. It's a tight end jet sweep, picking up some blocks, trying to make a cut. It's actually a decent gain of 8 there. And when you're down as bad as we are, might as well try to have some fun with it. 2nd and 2, keeping with the same look. Who's going to get open? Well, not really anyone. Throw it out the back as Sims did break open late, as well as Ross going across the back of the end zone there. Either way, it's 3rd and 2. As we go with a run, a nice lead block from Mitchell, and there we go. A touchdown on the board since our first one came, the end of our first possession after just 2-3 plays. It's at least a second one for Hubbard. Now, don't call it a comeback because we're still down 20 points and Devin Duvernay is getting a touchdown every other catch. So we still got a lot of work to do, but at least a little bit of some positive as there's a good tackle there from Stockton. Honestly, if we could keep them from scoring 2 times in this second half, I'd be happy with the second half performance then. As they go with some RPO, it's perfectly, not even RPO, read option. Blocked up beautifully for Ritter. I don't feel like it's too often we get to give that kind of credit to our offensive line. Normally we get maybe a solid 3 of 5 blocks, but that one, they hit on every single one. As they flood one side, not getting any pass rush, and Deion Jones was sitting right where that ball was thrown, but he didn't even try to swat at it. Not saying he's the only one who's been disappointing this year after being pretty impressive last year, but he's definitely not the same player. Luckily for us, though, we head into the 4th quarter following. And it's still that 20-point game, 34-14, but we at least finally saw a good drive from the offense. And on top of that, the defense finally got a stop on their previous timeout. So, you know, maybe a slightly upward trajectory here. As they go back to Robinson, and it's a good fill from Stockton, limit the gain to 3. But for this Falcons team, just barely being over 500, and honestly, the rating is not all too impressive as a team. I expected us to perform a lot better, but they might just be about to rocket up this last quarter or so, last half of the season. And in a way, kind of hoping they do and make this feel a little bit better as the defense does not get the stop. We had 4 or 5 guys try to tackle Robinson there, and he still picks up the first. We clearly have a lot of things to do with this team, and I expect to go really heavy, either in the draft or in free agency, for this defense to really try to elevate them to, honestly, a playing level. Very curious, though, to hear your input. Who should stay? Who should go? Who's earned their starting spot going into next year? As there is a quadruple tackle there from a fair few amount of guys as Taylor Decker a bit shaken up on the play. That's at least one thing we've gotten a little bit better at in the second half. Not as many guys going down with injury. It's been more so the Falcons with that issue, as we're getting no pass rush, sending 4, 5, even 6 guys. It quite literally has just been pitch and catch for Ritter out there. Can he deliver a decent ball? If so, it's a catch. As they try to find some space, Robinson, well, I can't even say try, they find. It's a touchdown. Unfortunately, Duvernay injured on the play. And it opens up right down the middle for us. Sims, the undrafted rookie, about to get a splash play. The kick return right down the middle. A little bit of an uplifter for the fans still in the crowd. So how about that? Even in what is shaping up to be a blowout loss, we get a top 10 play for ESPN as we bring everyone the next play. And hey, we finally get a tackle for a loss of 2. Keeping Robinson under 100 yards rushing, at least for now. As they stick with a heavier look, will be a play action that's bit us several times today as they get it out to Pitts, who's had a much better game today, bouncing off all the tackles. I think we might need to fire our defensive coordinator. I could already see the headlines forming. Panthers fire DC in middle of rivalry game. 41 points given up. Once again, they drop a 40 bomb on us. If we could keep any more points from hitting the board, that would at least be a slight improvement over the previous game. I believe all they need is just a field goal to tie that same amount. As we've at least scored more points in this one thanks to that kick return. It's 2nd and 6, sticking with heavy looks. Robinson, they're just trying to find somewhere to go. Credit that tackle to Ika. He was one of the young options we brought in fairly recently. I can't remember which trade it was, but see what he could do late on. 3rd and 7. Just would love a stop here from the defense. As they go downfield, it is Rush who drops the pick. And that does give Koo the opportunity to level their points, same as what they scored at home against us. This one will be about 55, and it is no good. That'll give our offense an opportunity for some more points before the end of this one. If we could get 28, you know, it's at least, like I said, an improvement. Not a great one by any means, as we get sacked the first play. Honestly, for the most part, this is going to be a game to try to forget about, but need to find some positivity in it for sure, as it's positively an awful performance, a second sack in a row. Will we gain a yard this drive? Well, we would have to pick up 24 to just get a gain of 1. As it's 3rd and forever, a sack coming in, and a sack they will get. On top of it, Max Dugan a little bit shaken up after. But that will, once again, mercifully bring the end to a Falcons game. I don't know what it is right now. Honestly, I think it's more in the player's head than anything, but they just cannot handle this Falcons team. And it leaves us in a spot where there is a lot of question marks across this roster. Though trying to take some amount of good from that game, I do have to say, we moved Jaquan Cash to the outside in that second half, and after moving him out there, I don't feel like there was a whole lot of passing that happened against him. I think they were a little bit more run heavy, more focused on the tight ends, but that could have also just been the fact that Cash was doing a pretty good job on the outside. So there is, again, maybe a little bit of a positive to pull from that game. And if we want to try to pull a little bit more positivity, there's less injuries. We got some guys back. However, Julius Chestnut did break some ribs in that game, and that will officially end his season. We're going to place him on IR. And heading into this next game, I plan on doing a little bit of some free agent shopping. See what all is out there and see if we got some guys to give a chance to late on. We're 1 game away from getting Hodgins in as well, and he's going to go straight to the starting lineup. The unfortunate news, though, is that it is Philadelphia that we have in the next game. They are going to be extremely tough. That is a dominant trench team. Offensive line, defensive line. We'll see how well we can go, and at least the Saints also lost last week, so once again, we don't have a battle for bottom of the NFC South, though we did sweep them, so they would have to win 2. Either way, not a good game. We don't have to play them until next year, so great. We're done with the Falcons. Give us some time to try to figure things out before we face them again. We got some guys with some opportunities coming up, and we might have some guys on roster that maybe we cut that don't want to come back if they're old and not going to help us out next year. And we might bring in some guys as well, depending on what the practice squads and open free agency has for us. So make sure you stick around. We at least had some decent laughs in that bad game. One thing I did not check, almost forgot. What does Ellis look like? And I remember looking, and yeah, as I predicted earlier, if he is a normal dev, Caden do I know Madden or do I know Madden? A 77 overall normal dev. That was exactly what I said in the game. Go back and check. 29 years old, played at Idaho. Dude has just destroyed us 2 games in a row. He can't cover. 65 zone, 59 man. Does he have his actual catching rating on here? Yes, 52. He had a no-look one-hand interception that was behind him. You're telling me this dude right here nearly single-handedly destroyed my offense. Gotta love Madden. It is what it is. But that will officially do it for us. This series every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, with the state-only challenge every Wednesday and Saturday. A new one coming out on Saturday. If you have not voted, go vote right now. It's on the community tab. There's 3 different options. Trying to remember off the top of my head, Bama is one, Indiana is the second, and then Arkansas, Missouri, and Nebraska is the combination for the last one. So you got 3 options. Go vote. Again, that series every single Wednesday and Saturday. This one, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 6 videos every single week, and they're not all blowouts like this one. So make sure you stick around, hit that bell icon on the bottom right, or hit the sub button down below. They both do the same thing. And tap that bell icon, and we will see you next time for whatever it is Madden throws at us as we take on the Philadelphia Eagles.